Hey everyone, I wanted to make sure that every optometrist knows about a program that was just put out there through the economic stimulus package that was just passed by Congress. So Congress doesn't get many things right, but they did do pretty good on naming this program. It's called the PPP, the Paycheck Protection Program. And basically what it's going to do, and I'm going to kind of give a basic overview, and obviously I'm not an expert here, and there's plenty of places that you can go. I'll be listing some of the sources of information that I got, places that you can go to get kind of the details. But I want to give a basic overview because I want to make sure all of you know that this program allows you to pay for your employees for the next couple of months. That's a big deal, especially for many of us that don't have any income coming in right now. So once we get through that, then I want to talk a little bit about some good things that your employees can be doing while you're paying them through this stimulus package. So let's get right into it. With this Paycheck Protection Program, basically you can apply if you are a business that's 500 employees or less. That should be all of us here that are listening to this video. If you're bigger than that, you probably are going elsewhere to get your information. So it's a loan that will be forgiven as long as the following things or criteria are met. Number one, it has to be used to cover payroll, mortgage interest, rent, or utility costs. So those are the four things that it says that the loan is for. The biggest thing is they want to make sure that 75% of this loan is being put towards payroll. Okay, so 25% can go through for mortgage, interest, rent, utility costs, but the vast majority, 75%, needs to be put towards payroll. So I'm going to give you a real simple way, a nice formula that you can do to be able to figure out how much of a loan that you can get. This formula I'm going to post below in the notes, but it's pretty simple. Basically, you're going to take your average monthly payroll cost from last year. I'm guessing that's calendar year 2019, but it might be from February to February. Your lender should be able to give you more information on that. And so basically, you're going to take that monthly payroll cost, you're going to divide that by 0.75, and then you're going to subtract that monthly payroll cost again. You'll then multiply by 2 to get 2 months worth. And what that's going to do, if I did my math correctly, it'll tell you how much more, in addition to the payroll, that you can spend on other things, mortgage interest, rent, or utility costs. That is actually the max that you can request for this loan. So if you were hoping to use this for other things, you can't. There is an additional stimulus package that was passed before this one that gives low interest small business loans. You can go elsewhere to be able to find information on that. So let's talk about the catch, okay? So this loan is to try to make sure that people don't lay people off and try to get small business also not to decrease salaries or wages during this time period. So you have to keep the same number of full-time employees. Now you've got until June 30th of this year to be able to get your employees back if you've already let some go. You also can't decrease your staff's wages by more than 25%. Again, you have until June 30th to be able to get those levels back up if you already have decreased them. The other big thing is you can't pay more than $100,000 of annualized income, so 2 months worth of that $100,000 of annualized income. That's important if you have other optometrists that you're employing, that you can only take $100,000 worth of their salary to be able to get loan forgiveness through this program. So there are the catches, pretty straightforward. Let me go ahead and answer a couple other questions. Where do you go to get these loans? Well, basically you're going to apply with any existing SBA lender. Basically means any bank, unless you're a very, very small local bank, your bank probably does SBA loans. And so you should just be able to call them, say, I'm looking to apply for the Paycheck Protection Program. And it doesn't matter. I mean, the terms are the same for no matter what size of business that you are. And so they should be giving you, it's like a one-page application form. You'll fill that out, and you'll want to fill that out and get that in as soon as possible. So there is a cap on the amount of funding that they have for this program. Congress set aside $349 billion for this program, which sounds like a whole lot of money. But that whole lot of money is going to go really fast when you think about all the small businesses that there are in this country that are probably going to be applying for this program. So April 3rd was the first day that they gave loans for small businesses and sole proprietors. On April 10th, for independent contractors and self-employed individuals to cover your own payroll. So on April 10th is when, if you are employed, self-employed, it's your practice, that's at that point that you'd be able to cover your own payroll. So make sure that you get in and talk to your lender as soon as possible to be able to get this loan forgiveness program in as soon as you can. So now we can breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief as owners of practices and who have a lot of employees and trying to figure out how we're going to pay for them. So as long as you're able to get that in time and you get this loan, you can breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief that, hey, there's a way that I'm going to be able to pay for my employees at least for the next couple of months. So what are you going to do with these employees while they're getting paid, since a lot of practices were kind of shut down for the time being? Well, first of all, I hope that many of you are doing a remote vision therapy program. I have another video where I talk about how to set one of those up, and so I'm referring you to that video to get information there. The other big thing that you should be doing is taking this time to do training. One of the big areas of training is our vision therapists can always get more training. At Emergent, we have a great vision therapist training program. It basically takes someone from off the street that doesn't know anything about vision therapy, teaches them all the basics, everything from saccades and pursuits, all the way to more, we even dabble a little bit in more complicated topics like anomalous correspondence. So it gives them a lot of really good base information. We also go over about 20 different basic vision therapy activities, how to load those, how to unload those. So there's a lot of really good information. It's broken down into about 5 to 10 minute video chunks. Each of those chunks has a little quiz, a comprehension quiz that goes with that. At the end of that, and during that actually, they have access to James Smith, COVT, our COVT that works at Emergent. And at the end, they also have to go through an oral review, and they have to take a written test. The oral review will be with James, okay, and they have to pass those things. Now, I want to be very clear, this is not a certification, okay? We are not taking over the COVT program. We love the COVT program, and if anything, this is a great thing to do to help prepare your therapists for going for their COVT through COVD. But they do get a certificate of completion for doing this course. You can find a lot more of the information about it if you go to emergentteachable.com, which you can find below. The other thing you could be doing is getting your social media account set up. You know, do you have a Facebook account? Have you gotten that Instagram account that you've been wanting to get going forever? This is a great time to not only get those accounts set up, but get a backlog of a bunch of different posts that you can make. Okay, talk about success stories, talk about a new staff member, talk about you could take a piece of equipment like the SVI or some other piece of equipment that you've got in your office to be able to highlight that. Those are all great posts you can have all ready to go so that you can, whenever we get up and running again, start posting those. I would recommend every couple of weeks. You can also get your vision therapy program organized. All of us probably, at least I know, I have many times thought, okay, I need to have more of a structured program that I follow to have more consistency. And so writing up some of that information is really good, and to be able to train your therapist during this time on your specific vision therapy program is a really good thing to do. One of the things I always love to do to have my therapists do is a lot of them come up with really creative vision therapy activities. So I ask them to do a write-up on it. Okay, what equipment do they need? Give me the procedures, line them out. All of that information I have them write up, and so that it's accessible to the other therapists. And you can be doing remote meetings, through video conferencing, and they could each be sharing about some of these write-ups of the activities. The other huge thing I'm going to really recommend that you do is that you define the roles and responsibilities of all your staff. Every business owner, good business owner, knows that they need to be able to pass the step in front of a bus test. Okay, basically, if one of your staff members were to step in front of a bus tomorrow, I know a little bit of a morbid thought, would you be able to survive? Do you know everything that that person does so that you can plug someone right back into that position? Do you have cross training amongst other employees to make sure that if one's out, that the other one can cover for that? So having each of your employees go through and write out their roles and responsibilities and putting that into a nice binder or a nice folder on your computer, those are all really good things that you can be doing during this time where we are all at home, or at least the majority of us have a stay-at-home order, and that we're trying to get all of this done. I want you to know I've talked to the team, and we've decided that right now, as part of our ongoing efforts to help clinics during this difficult time, we're going to offer 30 of our online vision therapist training courses for 40% off. It's going to be first come, first serve, so head on over to emergent.teachable.com, and you can go ahead and order right from the website there. We're really excited to be able to offer this to you. We really do wish the very best to you, your family, and your clinic during this very difficult time.